So here we are with Cyclocross Crusade. Race 1 is the Hero Lakes cross course just by Portland International Raceway, and this is just kind of a lead straightaway on this pretty good group. Beginner. This is the beginner men's and beginner women's. We have a 1 minute separation. So this whole run up is just sort of deceptive. The gravel that you're seeing and just how flat it is. Just how this race has been described to me. It's very flat, very fast, with just a couple of run ups, pitchy bits in the middle of it. But what was not foretold is it has been in a torrential downpour for the last 2 days, and it just ate up this course. I think we were the second or third to race this morning. And so a lot of these grassy bits just sort of got chewed up. And on the pre-ride, I had figured out kind of where I needed to be in most places. And you're going to be seeing that here. But some of these areas, I mean, you couldn't do anything but jump off and run. And as we go a little bit further, you'll see this ended up being something of an issue for me. The standing cross wisdom is grass is fast, so I was just trying to find whatever grass lines I possibly could. And even from my pre-ride, which happened maybe 15 minutes before this start, there's a buddy of mine there, just kind of did what I did last week, actually, the previous week at the Washougal Cyclocross. But there were areas that were really cleared up, on the pre-ride, and then I got into my section, just my race, and I tried to find the lines, same lines that I was racing before, and they were just gone, or whatever grass was there was just torn up. You look through, actually, I mean, this is pretty rutted, but you get into a spot that's in a nice and hard pack, right about here, and it allowed you to make up a little bit of time, a little bit of effort there. But I'll tell you, something I realized after the race is I think I was running about 46, 48 PSI on a pair of Maxxis all-terrains clenchers, and it was just too much. I saw guys riding gravel bikes with 2-inch tires just flying past me, and we had similar experience, similar skill sets, and I think I was not ripping in enough. I'm thinking seriously about changing out my tubes, or my tires, for the rest of the cross season, just because I am not getting the traction, and I need to lower my air pressure by at least 5 pounds. I think 40s, low 40s, maybe even high 30s. And my buddy got back up and ended up flying past me, which is pretty awesome. So this nice straightaway here was wonderful. It hadn't been torn up too bad yet, and races previous to us really hadn't gotten into it, so we were able to take advantage of some of this and get into this nice straightaway here. See the barriers we're passing. We'll be making those on the return. And I'm guessing that the general experience with everybody is you race enough, you start seeing a lot of the same people. So there was a few people passing me in kit or on bikes that I recognized. We kind of waved at each other at various points. That rider up on the right there, I think she started with me last week at the and this whole bit was actually a lot of fun, and then it's like, okay, mud, you just can't do it. And this is probably about, 2%, 3%, maybe probably as high as 7 as we start getting up here and just trying to find our way over these barriers. And I took the wrong way out. My feet were just full of mud when I got in this, and just trying to refine my footing. You could hear my brakes rubbing on this. You come across, and this is actually, it's pretty nice because you come into some hardtack here, but the mud just gets so dodgy that you can't really take advantage of that quick left. And of course, experience is not really shown on me on how to avoid crashing into somebody yet. Full disclosure, I have not crashed into anybody on this race yet, but or any race. So yeah, this is a kind of downhill switchback, and on the pre-ride I walked it, and coming this time around I said, you know, maybe I can actually kind of, yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it for everybody. I said, you know, maybe I can actually just kind of coast this a little bit, and so I just threw myself onto the top tube and just sort of slid down until I got back to the switchback uphill. And just more up and up. You see those Portland skies just threatening to pour down on you, and I'll tell you, I don't think it rained for the entire race. It was only a 30-minute race, but it was pretty nice actually the whole time. And just, I'll tell you, every section of this race was just a little bit different. It kind of kept you going. It was interesting. You know, it was this bit right here, you know, you just come up, mount back, and then there's just this nice smooth transition out. Kind of get your confidence back, get back on your wheels a little bit. The person up here was racing a NASCAR single speed. It was just awesome. She was fun. And with the mud, pretty standard stuff, just kind of slowing you down. This was pretty easy to navigate. Not too bad. Some nice leaves there, actually providing a little bit of traction. And I did not realize how bad I was rubbing. And then some nice hardtack. Then, you know, the opposite side of that straight area where those barriers were, the guy that I've raced with most of the season that I was kind of wondering where he was. He ends up seeing me. You can actually see him up here on the right, not too far. He's seeing me going, hey man, you know, what are you doing? And it was, I'll tell you, you know, there's nothing more satisfying than a cross race. I mean, there's just such community there. It's been, I mean, a singular experience. This is all not too bad, you know, maybe half an inch at the time of dirt and muck. And going through the kind of cross area, team tents, and this is my first time doing something very like this. Not the mud, but what's coming up here in a minute. Now, I guess some people with this kind of lead-up platform, they actually cleared it, and I couldn't make it. And I have all the grace of a disabled swan, you know, a swan with a broken wing, I suppose, and just couldn't make that. But just, it was fun. It kept it interesting. Wasn't too bad. This is basically the home stretch here. Now, because there was so much muck, um, it was just clearing. And if anybody's got some ideas on how to address that in the middle of the race, I'd love to hear them. Um, but I was kind of accumulating dirt and straw and everything, like it was part of my collection. Now, you can look at my front tire; it doesn't look too bad, and it's really not. But if you were to look at my front derailleur, the entire seat stay area, um, and my seat tube, it was just caked. And I'm gonna switch back into the finish line. Now this is one lap, one full lap, which is what I've been posting. And this is just a beautiful opportunity to sprint, which I'm not necessarily doing here. And I'm just trying to recover. Oh yeah, I was a 20-year smoker before I started doing cyclocross. I hadn't smoked in a couple of years, so this is all a little bit different. So as we come up this mud and I get splashed, it becomes the beginning of the end, which is my rear derailleur going into my spokes, which was, just absolutely fantastic. It mechanicaled out about a quarter of the way into the lap, and I was done. So this is my first official DNF of the season. I got to be honest, it was a fantastic race, but that right there was an expensive and disheartening end to my first Cross Crusade race. So I'll be back here next week. Thanks.